Hey y'all, it's Alicia. Welcome back to 510. If you're new here, welcome. We hope you feel very comfortable. And if you're returning, well, welcome back. And I have an exciting list of calendar announcements to make. Y'all know today's my planning day, and I've actually been working on this particular plan for the last 6 weeks or so and giving it a lot of thought and research. What I wanted to do was this past year, I was very blessed to be included in tons of collaborations and projects and Secret Santas and swaps. And it really was a great blessing and gift in my life. It helped me get through some very difficult periods. It helped me learn how to make a whole lot better. I learned how to be a better precise crafter, and I made a whole bunch of new friends thanks to it. And many of you found your way here because of these activities I participated in. But I decided that this coming year, I really wanted to make every month's challenges geared with a purpose. And so I did a little research, and that will mean that I'll probably participate in less collabs in the coming year because I'm doing this every month. And you know that Happy Mail and those sorts of surprise things that show up in the mailbox are always very important to me, and it's an integral part of my channel and what I do here. But I'm excited to present this to you today. This took a lot of planning and a lot of thinking and a lot of sorting to make happen, and I'm going to list everything down below, and of course every month I'll properly announce it, but I really wanted to give you a preview of the upcoming year, especially so that you can start thinking about if something, these are little mini challenges that you want to participate in and support and get behind. So in January, the first challenge is going to be called Operation Gratitude. And Operation Gratitude is a challenge that inspires or encourages you to make a card for either a wounded warrior, a veteran, a deployed soldier. There's a wide range to choose from, but basically it's a card that you would create and write a personal note of gratitude in that we would then send off to some specific organizations that I looked up and that we can partner with, and those cards will actually get to wounded warriors and deployed personnel or to veterans. Often veterans are forgotten. They may have served 20 years ago, and it's important to recognize them as well. Now, it may surprise you that this is my first one of the year, especially since I don't come from a military family. I only have one uncle that ever served in the military, but I have learned by building relationships here on YouTube how many of my friends are either from a military family in one way or another, and how the whole family serves when someone serves. So for instance, if you're a partner and your partner's being deployed, then you're carrying the load by yourself. If you're a mom and you have a wounded warrior, then you're not just providing support to your child who has been wounded, but to their entire family and helping things run smoothly. And I guess I've gained a much greater appreciation for how much effort this requires. Sometimes I think that we just take for granted that we have these individuals who are brave and actually very unselfish and enlist and do this work, and we don't think about the implications to the greater family. And thanks to wonderful friends here on YouTube this year, I've learned that it's an enormous contribution that the entire family makes. So I wanted to start off the new year by Operation Gratitude, by having us create cards that would then go to these individuals, and you'll get to choose if you want to send it to a veteran, a wounded warrior, a recently deployed individual, or to a new recruit who may just be beginning this journey. You'll have a choice about where your card goes to and what kind of card. But it's that simple, and the due date for that will be January 26th, and that will be January's challenge. In February, I'm calling this the All Heart Spread the Love. Not all heart as in the crepe paper all love, but more about this being about celebrating one another here and the support that we give one another. So this one is a super, super simple challenge. It's going to be a mini rack or flat mail that you will send to one person who has given you a lot of support or encouragement, or has shown you a lot of emotional support or personal support or crafty advice. I've got people on here who have given me tons of crafty advice, and I wouldn't be half as good a maker if it wasn't for them. So it's a mini rack or flat mail, again, always cognizant of cost, and you'll create it. And very much like Scrap to World's It's a Link party, what we're going to do is everyone will share it on, I have the dates all written out here, on February 23rd. You'll share it in a video and everybody will get to see it, and either you can disclose who you're sending it to, or you can just leave it as a surprise as it goes out in the mail. That's entirely up to you. In March, March is National Autoimmune Awareness Month. And we've all had discussions about how amazing the discourse has been here on the channel, how forthcoming and generous people have been about sharing their autoimmune challenges and what they're living with and how they do that. So I thought it would be very nice to honor that during National Autoimmune Month. Boy, it's a whole mouthful, isn't it? National Autoimmune Awareness Month. So this is going to be a mini self-care package to someone of your choosing who is living with autoimmune. That, depending upon the autoimmune, that can be wide-ranging. That could be, a set of cards that you create for them so that they can send out thank yous to their medical staff or people that support them. It could be a mini care package or self-care package, could be a set of Memdex bases sent to Pat so that she doesn't have to strain her hands while making. There are so many different ways. It could be sending really good hand cream to those of us living with skin issues. There's all different things you can do for autoimmune, and I think what's really great about this is that there are over 150 autoimmune diseases, and this will give you a chance to decide which one you want to sort of learn a bit about and invest in, so it'll help all of us understand autoimmune better, which I think is important because it's such a varied illness base. It is hard to understand it, and each one is very different and has its own unique challenges. So for instance, like Miss Judy lives with fibromyalgia. She lives with other things too, but that's one of the things she lives with, and that's chronic nerve pain in every nerve in your body. And so something like, and she also, her husband has scent sensitivities. I'm saying that for a reason, because one of the things that might be great for Judy is one of those handmade pouches that you can put in the microwave, that have those little, that are often made with like little lavender beads, and you heat it up and it helps relieve pain. Well, that would be a great thing to send Miss Judy. Just make sure it's not scented with the lavender because her husband has a scent sensitivity. But that's a great example of something that would probably help Judy with her fibromyalgia. But again, Memdex bases for Pat so that it saves her hands from having to make and thick them up. Hand cream for anyone living with things like scleroderma, lupus, Sjogren's. I mean, there's all sorts of things that are in there that you can do. And also, they've now identified that diabetes is a definite autoimmune illness. So anything like an emergency sugar crash kit, I mean, that's really easy to make for someone, right? And that could be sent to many people we know here who have recently discovered that they're living with diabetes and that they're learning how to manage this. So many options for that. And that will be due on March the 29th. And again, what you'll do is you'll do like an It's a Link party. You'll do a little video showcasing what you did, why you did it that way. In other words, how is this going to help the person living with autoimmune? And that will help us raise autoimmune awareness. And then either you can tell us who it was made for or not and send it off. So that is going to be for March. For April, Leticia contacted me a couple of months ago. Hey, Leticia. And she suggested, Alicia, is there any way we can do a challenge in in April for autism? Now, y'all know that Leticia's child lives with autism. She's a huge advocate, not just for her son to ensure that her son receives all the best support services possible, but for autism in general. And she's also one of the most encouraging members of our community. And I thought, how can we best help her in her fight to raise awareness of autism? So I was thinking about it. And, the symbol for autism are puzzle pieces. And, thanks to Orlando Tasson, we were all challenged in Holy Swappers to make something out of puzzle pieces. And that was super exciting. And I learned that they're super versatile. So here's what I was thinking. Leticia does tons of advocating on behalf of her son and the autism community in general. So I thought it might be helpful for us to either make her a shaped tag that she could send or an embellishment out of puzzle pieces, because she could use those embellishments either to make her own cards in her advocacy. She could use it in so many ways, I was thinking, for things that she does to advocate for this community. But a shaped tag would also be really useful for her. And think about how interesting it would be to make a shaped tag out of puzzle pieces. So that's going to be our challenge in April, and that'll be due on April 26th. Now, it's also, obviously, that's Easter and Passover month, so it's a very busy time. So I did keep this one pretty simple. Again, an embellishment or a shaped tag, because I think it's important that we raise awareness of autism, and I really want to support Leticia too. She, again, has been such a driven advocate for this, and anything we can do to help her, let's do it. In May, we have MS Awareness it's MS Awareness Month, and May 30th is MS Awareness Day. And as we just said, our very own Pat Sweeney has been wonderful about educating us about some of the challenges about living with progressive MS, and she's also raised our awareness of some of the challenges of crafting while living with MS. So I decided that I really wanted to do this challenge in honor of Pat Sweeney and her I think, warrior-like, boy, her name is so appropriate, warrior-like battle with this illness. So this is going to be a Memdex challenge, and the official color of MS is orange. So I'm going to ask that you use some orange in the Memdex design so that we honor and raise awareness of MS. And I'm going to ask you to create a Memdex and send it to Miss Pat Sweeney using orange in some capacity in the palette. And that will be due on May 30th, which is officially MS Awareness Day. Then let's move on. So we have that we're on to June. June has a lot going on. We have Father's Day. There are many different things that we could have done that relate also to fallen victims of. There were many things I could have chosen, but in the end I chose National Hunger. We have so many children going to school without breakfast. We have even more children who are receiving their only hot meal at school. And we have a crisis currently nationally in our food banks. And so I decided that for June, what we're going to ask is that you create a mini food bank package. Now, it can be a can of soup and a tin of tuna. It can be a box of Kraft dinner and a package of crackers. It does have to be non-perishable, but it's a little mini food bank kit that you'll create. And I'm sure you'll decorate it up beautifully with a nice tag, but you'll create a little mini food bank kit that you will share again in a video link showing us what you created for the food bank and letting us know what food bank it's going to, because that's important too. It'll help raise awareness of food banks in areas across the country. So that is for June, and that will be due on June 28th. In July, well, we have it's the American Diabetes Month. It's different in every country, but that is American Diabetes Month. And as I just said, we have a ton of folks here who have recently been diagnosed with diabetes in our community and who have explained that. And so I thought, why not honor them in July by doing a project that revolved around diabetes? So I was thinking that what it might be, it's American Disabilities Month. Forgive me. The Diabetes Month is later in the calendar year. I couldn't read my own writing, folks, I'm telling you. It's American Disabilities Month in July. So that means invisible and visible disabilities. And we've talked a lot on this channel, and I know loads of you have talked about a lot of your challenges in getting that stink eye in the parking lot that we've all discussed. So I thought it would be really nice if we created a die cut package, a small die cut package for one of our friends on YouTube who are living with some kind of disability, be it visible or invisible. And that covers a wide range. Now, why did I pick die cuts? Not just because lots of people don't like die cutting, but because there are many disabilities that make die cutting very difficult, especially if you have a manual machine. And also, there are some more invisible disabilities that people live with that make it difficult to sit for long periods of time. Anyone with a chronic back issue like Jelly Bean or Kayla or Lily, sitting for a long time and die cutting is excruciating. And so I thought this is a perfect thing for us to do. You will create a bag of die cuts, a whole assortment of die cuts from, maybe pick your favorites, your favorite die cuts that perhaps other people don't own. You will die cut out a nice little thick baggie of die cuts that you will send to someone of your choosing here on YouTube or on Instagram to help facilitate easier making for them. And you'll get to choose that person. And again, you'll share that in a video link with us. And I believe the date for that was right at the end of July, but I'll list all these down below. In August, well, we have back to school, folks. And as we just discussed about how many children don't have meals or adequate food at home, they also don't have adequate school supplies. And there were some fabulous challenges done this year, providing children with notebooks for writing, for school books, and so forth. So for August, we're going to do a back to school altered composition book that a child or a student is going to be able to use as a back to school supply. And we'll want to do both male and female to ensure that we're meeting all the needs that are in our community. And I think what we're going to do is between now and then, there are organizations that help ensure that these supplies get distributed, and I'm going to contact them and see how we best arrange the delivery of these. It may mean that you just send it directly to that organization. I will fill you in as we're closer to that date and I properly announce the challenge, but it will be an altar composition book for the end of August. And then we are into September, folks. And September is going to be Celebrate a Senior Month challenge date. I've been given a lot of thought to this lately and about how we have an ever-increasing aging population. And so we have a lot of seniors who are without family, or their family lives really far away. They might not have regular contact. A little bit of love goes a long way. So it's Celebrate a Senior. And this is going to be crafter's choice, meaning you can create anything that you would like to create for a senior in your community. And it can be a senior in your immediate community, in your neighborhood. It can be a senior at your church or religious organization. It can be a senior here on YouTube or on Instagram. But you're going to have crafter's choice. You can create whatever you want that you will then gift and send to the senior. And again, you'll share that with us in a video at the end of September. October is Mental Health Awareness Month, and this is really important. We've talked quite a bit about it this year, that how many of us we derive much pleasure from crafting, but it also helps reduce our stress. We've talked with other crafters about how sometimes they don't do collaborations because that increases their anxiety with the deadlines. We've talked about the importance of sharing when we need support. And so I think October is going to be very important, not just for our community, but for the community at large. So in honor of Mental Health Awareness Month, we're going to ask you to create a set of 4 cards of encouragement cards that we are going to distribute. And I am going to find some local organizations to partner with, and we are going to provide those to them so that those cards can be used to provide encouragement to people living with many mental health issues and challenges, and those cards can be used to provide encouragement when they need it most of all. And that takes us to November, folks. And November is American National Diabetes Month. And what's really interesting, I didn't know this, but in doing my research, I found this out. The symbol for it in America is a blue circle. And I thought, well, that's perfect because we can do a blue ornament for the holiday season to raise awareness for diabetes. So a blue ornament, I'm not going to say whether it's an altered ornament, a handmade ornament, a paper ornament, I'm leaving that wide open. It will be a blue ornament to raise awareness of diabetes. And that, I think what we'll do is we'll actually send that to the Diabetes Foundation. I'm hoping that maybe we can fill a tree with all of the ornaments. And wouldn't that be amazing if we could raise awareness in some way? And you can dedicate your ornament to someone. Like we have many people on our channel who are living with diabetes. And so we could create an ornament and send it to the Diabetes Foundation for their tree and have it in honor of one of our friends here living with diabetes. And that, folks, is what's coming up for the year in terms of challenges. I'm going to list all this information below, and obviously I'm going to do individualized videos announcing these properly, but I thought I'd give you a heads up on what this year is going to look like. And that way you can start to think about yourself and your calendar, and if any of these mini challenges interest you, you can start making notes or getting down ideas or thinking about how and when you want to participate. So I hope that's exciting for you. It's exciting for me to have that list done. I'm now starting on my swap calendar. I have less slots open than I would like to have, and I want to reach out to a couple people today with some emails and get that calendar set in place. But I'm really excited about this upcoming year. I really wanted this year to be about crafting with purpose. We are so capable of making beautiful, beautiful items. But wouldn't it be amazing if these items actually did the community good? So I'm marrying my love for community and my love for making together this year. And that is a crafty aspiration that is now realized, or at least beginning to be realized with the announcement of these challenges. All right, y'all, I'll put that information down below in the box. Thanks so much. Happy Sunday, y'all. Happy Sunday.